The thoughts and views of this podcast and the sole views of the curators of this podcast is not the views of the United States Postal Service.
And we are back. That's right. On the Route Podcast, episode 25. And we're about to get to it, man. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today, covering like with consolidation with post office, the 10-year plan that our Postmaster General Louis DeJoy has, and among a few other things. But before we get started, as always, my brothers introduce themselves, starting on my right.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Now y'all see us again. What's happening? This is Aaron. So, what's up?
It's B Morton, baby. Back again, round 2. You can see us now. I'm pass it off to my brother right here.
Yeah, this is Black. As usual, we're going to give y'all some good information, talk about this 10-year plan, talk about the things that's good and the things that's not so good, but, you know, we're going to do what we do like we do always.
And it's your engineer, always staying not low key, getting ready to get this thing going. So we about to get right into it, man. It's Rick Shine, about to get this thing going, y'all. So, who wants to start it off for us? You know what I mean?
Alright, I'll start it off. So, part of Louis DeJoy's 10-year plan is to consolidate processing facilities. So, they'll be condensing certain regional facilities. The plan is to slowly roll out in recent months. They're going to accelerate it, the condensing in 2024, like to 2024. It's going to be, let's see, how much, what is it? It's going to be 180 to 200 local processing centers, and it's going to be, I'm sorry, y'all, it's going to be, these facilities are going to be in Baton Rouge, Billings, Boston, Grand Rapids, Harrisburg, Las Vegas, Louisville, Phoenix, Rochester, Salt Lake City, San Antonio, and Orlando.
So that's like a wide, I guess, array of space throughout the country. So I guess these guys may have the 18-wheelers pull out and go from there to the respective areas, respective zones to drop off, you know, the process mail.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we talked about this a little bit of it once before. The distance that they will have to travel because you're either condensing or getting rid of certain facilities, whether it be a regional processing delivery center or a local process delivery center. So what I'm trying to figure out is, one, some people possibly might lose their jobs because you're not going to need as many drivers, if they have enough now anyway, which I don't know if they actually do. But the distance you're going to have to travel between facilities to drop off mail. Like, so their routes are going, you know, like ours would probably be longer. Getting to each station, dropping off each station's mail. It'll probably, because the route, you know, is longer to get to the stations, so it'll probably be less stations, obviously, so it'll be, less clerks, it'll be less drivers, and possibly less carriers. So, what are they going to do about that? Not to mention, depending on the weather, and, you know, if it snows or we get a bad snow, and you got to drive however many miles to the next station to drop off their mail, or what time are they actually going to start to drop off the mail on time for mail carriers to get on the street properly? Because even if you drop the mail off at the station, you still, the clerks and everybody still got to get the mail together. They still got to, you know, even if they're dropping off packages, they got to get that together too. And if you're like us, you're at a walking station, or like, you know, even for Aaron, even at a mountain station, we still got to do the things we got to do. So how much time are we actually going to get for that?
And the thing is, are we accountable with reclaiming the time too? Like you said, are they going to take time off the routes? Are they going to add on to it or not? Like, what is the give and take into it? So are you going to give something to us, or it's going to help us out? You got to give something to us to the point where the carrier feel like, well, what are we doing here? We're just sacrificing more time or whatever it is, like I said, or say the fact that if I live 10 miles or wherever I live, my closer facility, and you move into the next one, now I'm 10, 15, 20 minutes, that adds more time, more pressure. That's traffic either way, like, so.
Yeah, because carriers they're not going back to the local facility, they're going to the regional job. Mm-hmm. So if you out in Postal, what you would be going to Harrisburg to pick up the mail?
Nah, so what Postal is not part of it. Like if you're in like the regions of Royersford and like Phoenixville, they all on the southeastern, so that's the main hub. So the people at that are going there. So whatever, I guess as far as they pointed out, as far as mile wise, like okay, this station is close to this one, so we'll merge everybody together and keep that what it is. And if so and so's too far, then y'all just do your own thing. Y'all get it from whoever they can facilitate from. I don't know if they all come to the same thing. And then like the driver too wise. So what driver is going to drive the pots down there, because it's only certain two drivers dropping off to that main hub now. So you want to have an extra driver go all the way from point A to all the way to Pottstown now.
Yeah, but so are you gonna have, let's say you do have too many drivers now, because naturally you're gonna be making less stops because there's less facilities. So what do you do with those other drivers?
I don't know. I guess you're cutting drivers back, or you want, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's either a downside, like you gotta go by seniority, or you know, I don't know what they're gonna do. It's the post up. You never know. It's just everything's up in the air. It seems like. So I couldn't tell you if you wanted to. So like that's just something like you said. So say I'm a driver that got less seniority, so I just gotta go somewhere to find another job, or I gotta apply somewhere else. Like how does that work? Like does it work by seniority, keeping people here, or you doing layoffs? So what is the biggest thing he do?
Well, I mean, if you're going to consolidate and start cutting down things, especially when we have an open contract that still hasn't been resolved yet, that means, okay, that's less rent we paying for buildings that we're using, because we don't have those buildings anymore. So what does the extra allocated money go to? If anything, it should go to making sure that people are getting paid, for, a fair day's work. Based on
Say it right, brother. Say it right, brother.
Fair day's work.
Yeah, fair day's pay for fair day's work, based on what the market says in terms of your competition. You know what I mean? Because we already know what our competition's making now. You know what I mean? As a maximum high. So it's like we're a company that's older, that's kind of started this whole thing. Now that we're out of contract, and you guys are downsizing in terms of facilities. Wouldn't that allocate the money to other uses? You would think.
Yeah.
You would think. Yeah.
They ain't that smart. Like I said, they ain't that smart for really know like decisions they make here. Sometimes I wonder like who is really running up top making decisions. Sometimes like just common sense got to play in somewhat way. At least it has to.
Well, a lot of these decisions aren't made in the best interest of the 9-to-5 worker. So the blue collar, it's not in our interest. They're not worried about if we're okay. They give us the minimum. And if the majority of us is quiet and cool with the minimum, they'll keep it that way. Until everybody's not cool with it, then they might give you a little bit more money just to quiet those few that's, not cool with it. But as far as them doing that, I don't think it's a good idea, because it cuts jobs, it makes the job harder, longer days, and it seems like you'll get less done. Where if you got to travel, if you got to move at a further distance, you'll get less done.
So how y'all think that'll impact the customers?
It's a lot of different ways.
More complaints, even more. People will be like, well, what's going on here? Who's running it now? And then, like you said, eventually the carrier runs out of excuses. So now that it goes by up top, basically. So who I'm gonna go to? I'm going to the next person, like they always do.
Well, you see, they got rid of the express, the 12 o'clock express already. So it's like 5 or 6 now, right? So you looking at that, and customers is like, well, I get a couple of questions every day. Customers asking me, why don't we get it at 12 o'clock anymore? I'm like, one day they just said they didn't have it no more. I don't know why they have it, but to be honest, they didn't have it because a lot of people weren't getting there on time, or the truck drivers weren't getting express to the stations on time. Like I've seen plenty of times the truck driver got to the station at 12 o'clock. And the package is supposed to be delivered by 12 o'clock.
Well, when they said they was losing money too, that's the thing. That was the main thing.
Well, yeah.
Losing money, it was a buku of money because they had to give people money back for refunds.
Yeah. And which goes to show that if you initially had that set up in the beginning, it means it was a well-run operation, well executed. So at some point, the people that were in charge of making sure that the delivery is on time weren't as good anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even necessarily the worker, it's the person that's in charge. That's setting up, who takes the packages out to whatever, you know what I mean? Like, who grabs the expresses, whatever. Like, that person that's in charge of leadership is not the same quality person that it was when they first started this whole, deal.
You damn right.
Right. So in terms of the customer facilities, like the what's it called, the stores, basically, the stores won't be consolidated. They'll stay the same, but the processing facilities will be consolidated. So you can still go to your local stores and buy stamps and boxes and stuff like that, but processing facilities, that's the only thing changing. As far as letter carriers,
You're talking about retail stores.
yeah, retail stores. There you go.
Retail stores.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name,
Yeah.
but for as far as letter carriers, like we people out in the regional areas, they got 60 days to figure out what they're gonna do, where they're gonna move, and stuff like that.
That's it?
Yep, 60 days. Yep.
60
Yeah,
days.
60 days. Yeah, 60 days. Yeah, that was.
60
Hold
days
on.
notice before being moved to another facility. And they'll retain seniority that they have occurred. And clerks who report to post offices are expected to face more minimal impact. A more minimal impact.
Now, of course, you know, our guy, he would never even get these things.
Yo,
Yeah,
Hold on. How do you know
Yeah,
this, brother? How do you know this?
When I was working at MOD, I used to see them always doing it all the time. They would section off a certain area, and then you would see the environmental tech dudes.
You got to be kidding.
They really paying the floor over, yeah. But it was like a rinky-dink job. It wasn't like they was stripping the floor like they were supposed to
they
first.
weren't stripping
They were
wax.
they were just painting right over top of the old
paint.
paint.
Oh, wow.
That was it.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Wow, that's crazy.
I guess that was their way of trying to save money and still make it look professional, but it doesn't really. You know what I mean? Because you can still see they weren't using the rollers black. They were using like the
Sprayers.
then the push brush, the push broom.
what?
It's one of the old school, like the one that the stick
They were
on the
using
bristles.
that to paint the floor with.
Wow,
Yeah.
you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
Postal, why y'all so cheap? Why? Ain't got that hard.
Hold up. They send us through our scanners how much that money they made.
The exact effects are still being resolved. So
Hold up. Excuse me. Nigga. What? 60 days?
yeah.
That is not enough time. You gotta move your whole station.
Yeah.
No, and combine with another one.
Yep.
Like, not to mention moving the actual materials, but getting the other station fit enough for that new material to fit in that station. That's gonna take longer than 60 days, because one, who you gonna get to move it? Two, who gonna set it up? Who your supervisors, your managers? Carriers sure as hell ain't doing it. Clerks ain't gonna do it. Janitors ain't doing it. So who gonna do it?
Right.
Y'all got special people for that?
Well, the funny thing about it is, I know at the main station, like they used to have a lot of times have the environmental tech dudes actually do that part of the operation. They made them paint the floors. They made them shift stuff around. Yeah, they used to paint the floors all the time. You had to move ABCs,
Are you serious?
BCs out the
Yeah.
way, and they would do the floor.
In a quarter. But these dudes can't get the floor painted properly by a professional?
That's hilarious.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
well, this is what happened at the main station in Philly. I don't know about
Oh,
the
can I
rest
say-
of the country.
Y'all got billions and billions.
So I mean, that's just what I witnessed, and I was just like, all right, I guess it's part of their gig, they do that.
It's crazy. So, I'm assuming that a lot of stations is more of the same. We haven't seen it at our station, we just haven't seen it. But,
Yeah, I'll take guy ain't doing that.
yeah, he's not doing that. But, they also said that I've read too, a lot of these facilities are going to be, regional processing facilities and, local processing facilities, like together. I would love to know how that's gonna work. If anybody out there knows how that's gonna work, or if anybody read about it, or if anybody that listens is, anywhere higher up to know about this 10-year plan, I would like to know. Put in the comments, I would like to know what exactly, how that's gonna work. Because that's gonna be a lot to do in just one particular facility.
So a quote from DeJoy said, over the last 3 years, since he started his plan, they have increased capital spending on modernizing our operations for the future with new technology, facilities, equipment, and vehicles.
My thing is, how you gonna do a 10-year plan when you don't even know what the country's gonna look like in 10 years? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, especially the initiate a 10-year plan when right in the middle of a global pandemic, we don't even know if we're gonna have the population, which is really bold in itself. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like we change leadership every 4 to 8 years. So who's to say that America's going to still be the way it needs to be for this plan to be effective. You know what I mean? 4-year plans make more sense.
Or
You know what I
5.
mean? Yeah, or 5, but at 10, that's really drastic. That's like assuming that we want to still have everything in retrospect the way it is.
You know what that say to me? That kind of say to me that he's a part of a bigger plan to shape the country in a new way.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Because why else would you have a 10-year plan without knowing what's going to happen like in the future, unless you're planning it out? Like,
Yeah.
Like I said, or before he got a plan, like I said, he got a plan that he not telling nobody something. That's what it is. He holding it to himself and we're like, all right, look, I'm doing this for me. If you win it, it is what it is. Like, I think he holding out a lot more than what he's not telling. Like I said, the dude's got to be something. He's not stupid. He's kind of might be kind of actually goodness savvy to the point to make decisions. So he's doing something right to the point where like I'm not gonna know what I'm doing. If it go down, I'm gonna be good. If it go up, I'm gonna be good.
Yeah, it has to
That's
be
what it is.
something. Yeah, because he, like I said, he makes more on his own than you pay him to do his job. So why else are you here?
Like it ain't got that much room in it until you get in it.
Yeah.
but these ain't the little platypus joints. These like some
There's more to our
these like some high tech electric joints. Like I was like, all right, I'll drive in this. Yeah.
But how long is it gonna take to get around every area? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what station was that? Was that your wife's station?
What they got?
What the pictures you sent?
No, pictures of somebody that said they're working on maintenance, basically working that's not me. What do they call it? The car with the
BMF?
BMF for like somebody got a
Vehicle
picture.
maintenance?
Yeah, vehicle maintenance. Somebody got a picture of it on and see on the lot, basically like this. Is the new vehicle. It was in one of the little groups, basically. Somebody saw it. Like, oh, this is the new vehicle. Like I'm like tight, skin tight.
No, they definitely
Not
tough
bad.
though.
I see the windshield on that joint look like it go back like like you see the hairline. That joint is like boom. I'm like, yo.
That's a 5.
It's not for the money.
Yeah, so he said the plan is to reduce the projected losses during the 10-year plan from 160 billion to 70 billion. So,
Well, I think he already did that, right? Didn't he already did that? No, he didn't do it yet.
no, he said that's the projected losses during the 10-year delivering for America plan.
So
That's the projected plan.
So let me ask you, that's the whole thing where the fact that like he doing that where you're cutting down the vehicles, basically like he trying to eliminate all that stuff.
He gonna make introduce 66,000
Electric
vehicles.
yeah.
Yeah. But you sent us some new vehicles, right?
Yeah, I seen
You
the
know,
vehicles.
nice.
Yeah, they alright, but then I was discussing it, like I was like, damn, Joe's kind of small. I'm like,
No, they look small on the outside. I want to see what they look like on the inside.
Yeah, that's gonna tell you exactly how efficient the new vehicle will be. Yeah, how it looks on the inside.
Yeah, because you can look at the ProMaster.
I got a 485.
Yeah, the Stephen A. Smith hairline on
Yeah, yeah. Vehicle, brother. I was looking at that. I was like, oh, they trying to see you.
Somebody, I see you.
Roll down the street, that's safe. You know what I mean?
Roll down the street. Where your seatbelt at?
Oh my God.
Right.
Somebody, you can't hide that. Don't put a seatbelt on there. I see you from all the street. I see you. Don't buckle up now.
But my thing is, you can have as many plans as you want to have, but when you don't have adequate management running the stations that you have, how's the plan going to work? Like you said, there's a projected amount of loss in terms that he's anticipating. How do you know those numbers are going to even be anywhere near that if you don't have the efficient people running things?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's too many power hungry, like small fries that they have at a lot of these post office stations that will F your whole plan up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they don't have the foresight or the ingenuity to stick to the plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they just want to be in charge. They just want to sound like they're in charge or whatever. And all they're doing is driving the numbers down.
Like telling you stuff that ain't true, or costing the post office money, or
Yeah.
Creating their own kind of rules in the station and telling you I got to do what's best for the operation and telling you to grieve it.
Would that be a part of the losses? Is
Yeah,
that a part of
I'm sure.
When you're knowingly initiating grievances, yeah, I believe you should be fired, yo. This goes against like what the manager's trying to do, which is capture the money.
Right.
You can't capture the money if you're knowingly doing things that don't make sense. And now we gotta pay somebody extra bread outside of the regular pay because you want to be stupid.
Yep.
Like, it don't make sense.
Not at all. Alright. And once again, I think I said it before. That's a lot of people in management that do stuff like that, and there's a lot of CCAs out there that they're hiring now that don't know if the stuff is true or false. Like I said once before, talk to your union, talk to your shop steward, let people know, talk to your OG carrier in the station, figure out what's real and what's not real, because you'll find out much later that you're following orders that it's not real, and it should be grieved, and you don't know, and then you end up not grieving it, and potentially losing money. That's happened to me a lot as a CCA. You don't know that the stuff that they're telling you is not true. So I'm telling you, read the contract, read the handbook, local, national, all that. Figure out and read everything. You ain't got to be a shop steward, but guess what? Learn it anyway, because you'll know what you can do, what you can't do, what they can do, what they can't do, and what they can't say. Because they say a lot of stuff that's quote unquote workplace violence. So yes, and that's a huge grievance. So make sure you learn all of this stuff, because they, trust me, they will do it. You got your asshole managers and supervisors out there that don't care, and they will do it, and because a lot of you people don't know. So watch yourself, because they ain't.
Yeah, like they're going off of you not doing the extra work outside of the norm. You know what I mean? They like he said, they thinking you're not going to read your handbook or look up anything they say or look up anything, because all this stuff is written down. All the, there's paperwork for everything that we're talking about that you can look up. They saying that, how they max out the list, what's the rules to that, how they give you out overtime, you know what I mean, seniority, how that works, like when it's max leave granted, you know what I mean, how that falls on prime time, you know what I'm saying, like these are all different things that the wrong person will tell you the wrong stuff on purpose just so they can get what they want out of the situation. You know what I mean? But it's up to you to read and learn about the job you're getting paid from. I'm like, you showing up every day, you're doing the job, you're getting paid, right? So make sure you learn everything about the job so you don't get taken advantage of. Think about like if you're buying a house. Like, if you didn't know the rules of buying a house, would you still just go in there gun ho to buy a house, not thinking you're gonna get taken advantage of?
Oh, hell no.
You would learn the rules. Same thing with a car. You know what I'm saying? Like the same thing with anything you buy as an asset, you gotta learn the game. So why not your job? Why would your job be any different? That's where you get your money from. You know what I mean? Like that's how you get to buy all these other assets, is through your job. So know the ins and outs of your job.
Right. So what would y'all say are some characteristics of an exceptional manager or supervisor?
Somebody that listens to their employees. Somebody that, just like we just said, knows the handbook, knows the rules. They, like I said, you may not be a shop steward, but you still know what you can and can't do and can and can't say. And just, know what you're supposed to do. And if you listen to your employees, the morale in the station will stay high. It will never be low. Because with them consolidating these regional facilities and all these places, that means more people in one spot. That means when morale in the station gets low, that means you got more incidents in one area.
And they come from different zones too.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
That's like fusion neighborhoods. Like you gonna get some problems. You gonna get some friction, and when there's a lot of people, it's a lot of friction. So you don't need a management, like Rick always says. You gonna need a coach to be able to blend the talent.
Right.
You gotta be able to get the talent together, know how to use the talent, know what they can and can't do, know the people, know the routes, know the area. That way you know how to use your people. Because if you're a manager or a supervisor and you know your people, you know your roster, you know how to use your people, you won't have any problems because you know who's who, who's what, and what they will and won't do. So yeah.
To me, it's people skills, man. You gotta learn how to talk to people. We all adults here in situations, so it's also, like I said, knowing how to talk to people, like you said, and just conversation-wise, not being so confrontational and not taking things personally. Certain people are going through things in a situation in life. I understand that. Be a human being. Put yourself in that predicament shoe to understand that. It's not just about the job. It's about the people. Like, we're serving people. We're still people. All, like I said, we're all carriers here. We still have a job to do. And then the thing is, you need somebody to actually carry too. Like, that's the best thing. It's like you said with sports-wise. Sometimes the best coach might be the person that played the sport right here. You can't just grab anybody and put somebody in here and think like, all right, leave, basically. No, they don't know that way. And then the people are, in fact, the people are stubborn and so stuck in their ways, they don't want to facilitate or like, all right, well, I'm just straightforward, narrow, this is what it is directly. No, you gotta be, well, look, man, hey, how you doing? I heard you, like you said, I heard your kid doing this, so, all right, cool. But then, like I said, also it's a time and place for everything. Like you have to know that, and you can't take things personal, and that's the problem. People take things very personal with this job. And like I said, like Rick always says, who you are at the job is not who you are outside of work. That's definitely true. You can't act that way.
Me personally, I think it's like a combination of like everything involved, like knowing how to talk to people, understanding the job, you know what I'm saying, and then the main thing that makes you somebody of leadership ability is having accountability and taking initiative. Like everybody want to take initiative, but nobody want to take accountability when it don't work. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a huge problem in the 191 district. You know what I mean? Like everybody want to talk like they making decisions on like they doing something, but when it falls apart, then they pointing fingers and they looking around and they trying to cast the blame. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, people shoot themselves in the foot. Like you know, you have people that are higher ups, right? Like someone like the upper levels, area manager, postmasters, people on that level. They'll try to help the smaller management people by putting them in situations that kind of help them, you know, get themselves on track or whatever. And if that person's a fool and an idiot, they'll shoot themselves in the foot still. You know what I mean? Like for instance, like our station, like you know, like Roxborough is a station that's very unique in itself. Like you know what I mean, where it used to be a retirement station because there used to be a lot of older carriers there. And we still have a good few the guys that are probably like in their twilight years in the post office. You know what I mean? But the thing that's very unique about that station is that everybody that works there, 90% of them lived there or grew up there, you know what I mean? Or they spent a lot of their childhood there, their grandma or whoever was like there. And I'm talking about people that are like 50, 60 something years old, that's our station, like they're from this neighborhood, they're from this area. Like they have pictures of like some of our routes from like 1960, whatever.
They part of the community.
Yeah, they like so their mom, like one of the guys that we work with, like his ex-wife and his mom and like his like sisters like live on the route that I do. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's how deep it is. Like that's how deeply rooted they are in the community.
And it's like that's back into the community too. That's the thing.
They do. Yeah, and the thing about it is like you have to know something like that if you're going to come into a station as a manager or as a postmaster or whatever your position might be in authority, and understand the dynamic of the station you're walking into. Because I mean, every person that's listening to this podcast as a management, they'll tell you like they work for the customers. You know what I mean? Their job is a customer service job. Our job as carriers is not a customer service job, really. It's us delivering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we do the extra customer service part because we talk to people, we see people. People might ask us for favors. That comes into the equation. There are days where you might not talk to nobody because nobody's outside. You're just doing the mail.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not really looked at as a customer service type of thing because we don't really see the customers all the time. It's like depending on the situation. But in management, you're going to always see the customers because you're going to ask to talk to a manager when things aren't going right, whether it's with the carrier, with the clerks, or we just have a general question about something. You know what I mean? So they work for the customers. What do you do when your carriers are your customers?
Not a damn thing. You can't do that, like you gotta.
Yeah, you gotta still
respect it.
Yeah. So like Brandon was saying earlier, you can't be talking crazy to your employees and they're your customers. You know what I mean? Like that's suicide. Like you're shooting yourself in the foot. You know what I mean? Like you can't have stand-up talks and be talking about, hey guys, we gotta make sure we deliver these packages and scan where you stand and etc. They know that already. They live where they're scanning.
Yep.
Their grandma lives where they're scanning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then there's like certain things you can't get by on with stations like that where you just can't make up things like, we got customer complaints about this, that, and that. No, you don't. Because they can just call somebody like, did somebody on such a block complain? Was that Ann? Was that Bill? You know what I mean? Like, what happened? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they will find out if it was a real situation because they know these people. They grew up with these people. A lot of these people that we're servicing went to high school with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like knowing, first of all, that's the perfect station I think anybody that's serious in management will want to manage at because the station almost runs itself. Because like Brandon said, these people are invested in the community. Yeah, so they're not gonna let anything bad happen to the community in the mail delivery because they got an answer for that. Like they gotta see these people when they on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Johnny be at the bar tomorrow. Hey man, what happened? Look, I can't deliver the mail, right? Well, hey man, no, that happened again. Now look.
You know what I'm
You gotta have
saying?
to, unfortunately.
And especially if the numbers are already high. The numbers are high. If everything is booming, compared to the rest of the district, you smooth sailing as a manager. You just gotta walk in and just be on autopilot. But a lot of times you'll have people that just like, quick history lesson. There's a reason why France doesn't have, their king in charge of the government anymore, is because they got rid of that whole monarchy system because they had an incompetent king.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like Louis the 16th, they killed him. They put his head on the chop block because he was effing everything up.
Right.
His grandfather, Louis the 14th, was probably one of the best monarchs in European history. You know what I mean? He wasn't the smartest person, but he had a whole bunch of smart people around him, and they would give him ideas, and he would, execute on them. The second smartest person probably was his son, Louis the 15th, because he was just like, all right, Dad already set everything up, everything's cool. I ain't got to change nothing, everything's booming. I just got to ride with the flow. And he was just pretty much on like, hey, what was my dad doing? All right, let's just keep doing that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what was working before I was king. All right, let's keep doing that. We got to fix this a little bit. All right, let's make some adjustments here, but we won't change the structure because the structure seems to be working with the peasants, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, everything was rolling. Now, of course, his son want to be the big shot. He don't want to be in the shadow of his grandpa and his dad. So he wanted, I got this whole new plan, and the people were starving to death. You know what I mean? So they murdered him and his wife, and took everybody out pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And then all the cousins, all the people you see nowadays in France that are part of the royal family, they were like the cousins, the offshoots of the main line.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't always pay to try to change things if it's not broken, especially if you don't really have the ideas for it. You're just trying to make a name for yourself. It's ego driven. And that happens a lot in our district, and that's why our district looks ridiculous compared to the rest of these other districts.
That's why they say one thing is pride is the devil, unfortunately.
Well, I think a lot of the post office problems is, a lot of people get mad at me for this, especially women. But a lot of our problems is because we don't have any men in management. There's too many women in management. And in my experience, now these are my experiences. Now, black women, don't lose your heads. This is my experience with black women in a position of power, specifically in jobs that I've been at and women that I know in my life. When they're in charge, it's chaos. It is. Like, you can research it. It's chaos. So, and it don't even have to be like that. I don't understand why a lot of men don't want these jobs, because we are on, very short on men in, leadership. But in these jobs, because women are as emotional as they are, not saying there aren't men that are emotional, but there's more women that are, there's chaos because they're emotional, and the way they treat their workers, they get emotional. And a lot of women, specifically black women, weaponize them being a female against a black man. If we talk the way we talk, like if I'm talking the way that I'm talking now, they think that I'm threatening, and they're scared, and they think something's wrong. And there's nothing wrong. I'm just speaking, and I want to be heard. We're men. Our voices typically carry. That's just how we're designed. It does it. But they try to weaponize and say, oh, I'm a woman, and lower your voice. What? Like, no, I don't tell you to raise your voice because you're a woman. Don't tell me to lower my voice because I'm a man. But they will do that, especially women in management. And especially in the post office, and they pull you in the office and you're in that closed area. You're going to sound much louder than you usually do out on the floor or anywhere else in the station. So you sound loud, but you're not being loud. But they take it as such, and oh yeah, we're going to call the postal police. For what? I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not threatening you. I'm not, I'm just explaining myself. But that's typically with women because I've been brought into office by men and women. Now, I've been brought into office by a white man and a black man. And I talk the way that I'm talking right now, and none of them were threatened. None of them. Matter of fact, I've been brought into office by a white woman at my station. And I'm talking like I'm talking now. She was not threatened. She didn't threaten to call the postal police, nothing. She sat there with me and my shop steward, and like I said, I'm talking the way I'm talking now, and we didn't have any issues. It was a PDI for me, refusing overtime, and because I wasn't on the list, and I think I told the story before in the previous podcast that they don't like to follow the rules, because when you force off the list, you're supposed to start from the junior carrier up, and they will start from the senior carrier down. That's not how it's supposed to work, because it's in the handbooks in black and white. So,
Preach, brother, preach.
so, you know, they were doing something they weren't supposed to do. I said, well, if you ain't got to follow the rules, why do I? And that's why I was in there. But I've also been brought into office by a black woman. And the one black woman that brought me into office had a problem with the tone of my voice, said she felt threatened, and that I was an out of control black man.
Wow.
That's the language she used?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
What are you, a criminal? Oh my God. What,
I'm trying to figure out. A lot of people look at my face and say I'm a criminal, but whatever. Let's go with that.
this dude crazy.
Yeah, man, you just gotta have like probably people skills and resolve certain situations. Like
Dog.
that's ridiculous.
Like Rick said it before. I don't know if he said it on the pod or not, but I know we've said it plenty of times having conversations. There's a lot of classes for them to take as supervisors and managers to move up to different steps.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them don't take it. If I'm not mistaken, is there classes about how they talk to their employees?
Yeah, there's classes about de-escalation. They'll actually give you a scenario of these two carriers or these two workers having a issue, and how would you resolve it? There's a multiple question situation.
So I'm like, if there are training for these type of things, and I'm pretty sure, it's training about PDIs, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got all these classes about how there's training on how to talk to your employees, how to treat your employees, how to conduct yourself in the PDI and on the floor, because obviously this lady does not, and you still don't know how to do it, or you just don't follow the rules. And some women, like I've seen, I've only had 2 white women in management. I had 2 black women that I've dealt with in management, and I've dealt with about 4 black men and a white man in management. And this is the lady that I have a problem with. And she just does what she wants. And it's not just the carrier she do it. She do the same to the clerks. And it don't matter who's in the station. She does the way she wants. She say she'll, like I said before, she'll tell you to agree with it. Like if that's your mentality, just to cost the post office money, then you shouldn't be here. Because if that's my business and you're deliberately costing me money, I don't want you here because you're not doing anything in the best interest of the operation. You're doing it to cover your own ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, if they got training and stuff for this type of situations, you're not utilizing that training. So did you actually take the training?
But, it starts at the top, man. There's a certain level of laziness that, as you keep going higher and higher, people want to do less and less work. And it's evident because, like I said, the people at the top can look at your file in their system to see how many classes you've actually completed. You know what I mean? Obviously nobody's checking to see how many classes some of these people are completing because they still let them do, certain moves and give them little acting position promotions. But they don't have nothing on their file that says they took any type of training. You know what I mean? That's why they still stuck in the 191. They can't get to the 194 or the 193 or, the 196. All these different zip codes outside of Philly. Because out there, you gotta really know your stuff. And they're gonna look at especially, let's just keep it 100. Especially if you're a person of color, they're gonna look at your resume on the computer too and see what your credentials are. And if there ain't nothing on there, they're not letting you come out there.
Well, hell, you're gonna embarrass yourself, basically. That's the thing. They'll definitely get you out of there if they need it be. They'll definitely get you out of there. That's here and there, but something gotta change.
But you literally had postmasters, and they always trying to get certain supervisors fired because they was the way they were talking to other supervisors. They wasn't having it. You know what I mean? They don't play that stuff out in these other areas because the post office means something to them. It's not a game. It's not a joke. You know what I mean? It's not just a get money grab tool. It's for them. You know what I'm saying? They actually some level of integrity that goes with it that they still uphold and hold on to.
Well, thank you, brothers, for sharing your perspectives on that. So, let's talk about what's happening on the routes. Anybody got some stories? Got some interesting stories?
Sure, some hood boogerism going on.
It gotta be. I know it's
Sure, some hood boogers out there.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, Brandon, I know you got one.
On the route, Rick did the route before. It's the apartments. These apartments we deal with is the worst.
Oh.
I went to one box. The box is so full to the point you can't put that in there, and it smells still on the floor of that one. Then they just did the pools and everything over. That's fine, but it's still, it's like, how are you doing the pools over? But nobody can do the renovation as far as like the mailboxes or anything in there. Some of them still smell like mildew. They still bad. I
They
just
just
felt
like,
like
what? Excuse you.
huh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
No,
like, what?
the mailbox, the carpet, the mail, it's all mildew. It smell like stuff like even a person there. Because I asked,
That's a hazard.
yeah, because I went to the one dude. I'm like, somebody live there. He said, yeah, man, 2 people live right here, but ain't nobody live in the other ones. I said, all right, man. I'm like, I said, it's still the same thing. I'm like, I just was over here, like, y'all renovating. I'm like, oh, y'all trying to up the prices on the apartments. I'm like, but y'all still got the mildew. Only got 2 people living in here. Then the one joint, it looked like it's vanished and baked. I'm like, who are y'all fooling? I said, this is the end. And the way I do the route, Rick showed me, it's the end of the route. I'm like, why I smell this end of the route? I'm like, I be wanting to do that part in the beginning, but then I'm like, man.
Save your strength.
Save my strength. I said, I can't do it. I'm gonna save my strength or save my nose. I'm trying to figure out either way. That route was
I
terrible.
would go with your strength first, man. You always put nose plugs in.
There you go.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna route tomorrow. God.
Wow.
Don't
Nah.
keep what?
As far as apartments,
Is there anything on the route?
yeah, my customers are pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm here.
They give me water and stuff like that, and hot chocolate and stuff like that. But as far as the apartments, yeah, like my issue with my apartments is they like how you have a full mailbox and the door don't lock.
What?
How? Like the mailbox door don't lock, so you got it's full. It's mail sticking out the joint, and you don't the door don't close, and you're not picking up your mail. But if I have a package for that apartment and put the package below the mailbox, the package disappears.
What do we call that?
A hood booger. That's what we call it. I'm sorry. Hood booger.
Oh man.
But yeah, they some customers care about the package, don't care about the mail. And the mail can be important mail. It could be IRS mail. It could be, jury duty mail. It could be, bills and stuff like that. They'll just leave it there. They'll leave it there, but they'll come get that package. I don't know why that package is so important, but they'll come get that. But other than that, only problem I got on the route is some of these customers need to fix their steps, bro.
Lord.
Steps and railings, bro. Woo!
Uneven and unjagged steps. Oh, they the worst.
I'm talking holes. Like in the wintertime, if it snows, if you never did a route before, you'll never be able to tell it's a hole in the steps. Like them steps they get that they want to look so nice with the mason stones on them and this one whole stone and it ain't stuck down and you step on the side and that shit tilt.
That's the worst.
No, the worst ones I hate the steps when they got the little leather squares in the joints. They the worst ones. The rain you slip like keep falling. Like, what the hell? I almost fell one of them until I had to grab a roll. I'm like, yo, why do y'all have these old 1970, 1980 leather things on the step outside? I'm like, get rid of these joints. Get rid of them.
Them and the people, if there's any customers listening, please stop painting your porches semi-gloss. Because when it rains, we slip and slide. No matter how slip-proof your footwear is, you are sliding, my niggas.
Something sound right.
Yeah, you are done. You are going across the porch and down the steps.
That's what you call a lawsuit.
Yeah, like that. Like I said, the holes, the steps not done right, and these screen doors, my nigga. These screen doors, bruh. But then you have a screen door that came off the whole door.
Yeah, the whole door.
What?
Now it's so ghetto. Like, now when I go to do the block, like they got a sign on it that says don't open the door at all. So I'm like, what do you want the mail in? Because I can't put it in the slot. And there's no. You would think they would use an alternative way for you to deliver it. This is how they just don't think outside of this situation. So naturally, I was just like, all right, there's a chair here, a heavy chair that's sitting here. Let me just put the mail under the leg of the chair. And that's pretty much what I've been doing, and they've been taking it. So I'm just like, I'm just not gonna get a box. I'm just gonna just keep putting it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the day it rains is going to be right there too.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous, man. It's like how much does it cost to get a screen door, yo? You know what I mean?
Or a mailbox.
Or a mailbox, or alternative mailbox. You know what I mean? And then this is probably anybody's route, but some things you don't pay attention to, right? Not too much until you got to deal with them with yourself. And then you start to sit back and you just watch, because I'm at the point now in my life, right, where
You're old.
Yeah.
My lifetime.
yeah, you know, I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I don't have the energy to explain shit to people. I'll just stand there and just watch. And when you have certified mail, and you're giving people certified letters,
Yeah.
and I sit back and I watch people ask you, like, what do I sign at? Like, it doesn't say signature at the top of the letter. But there isn't a line with an X, which usually you sign where X is. That was,
X marks the spot.
yeah, X marks the spot. Usually, like, that was traditionally what they used to let people know where you were signed for anything. I think they started doing that back in the 1950s. You know what I mean? So I'm just amazed to find people that are, like, older than me that still are struggling with how to fill out a certified letter. I'm like, you need to tell me this, don't tell me this is the first one you ever got. This can't be. I'm pretty sure you've been an adult for about 30 plus years. You've been getting mail for about 30 plus years. You never got to certify anything. You never got a package that you had to sign for.
Yeah, tell me what to sign, man. I don't give no lecture. Tell me what to sign.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yeah, I'll just be looking at people. I'm just like, because, you know, they give us an estimate of 3 minutes per delivery. That's what we're supposed to get. You know what I mean? But I'm like, this is how you end up getting extra time and end up going over on your route sometimes, because you got people like that that just can't figure things out. And I'm just like, all right, I'm not getting paid to tell people how to do this. You know what I mean? Like,
It literally says it.
I'm just gonna hand you the pen, hand you the letter, either you sign for it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then, like, don't even get me started when they gotta sign on the paper and on the scanner.
Oh,
Then they fumbling
Lord.
around on the scanner.
Oh, you like this?
And they can't put the right pressure, you know what I mean? They
It
just don't
takes
know how to
forever,
use it.
yo.
Like, post office, this I know you guys are disconnected. When y'all came up with this idea, y'all were literally thinking about people our age, filling out these scanners who are used to using touch screens. A lot of people still can't figure the touch screen thing out.
Because the scanners don't have stylus.
Yeah,
You can't even write on the drum.
yeah, you can't write on them.
Well, no, the old scanner they have, the new ones don't
Yeah, the new ones don't have it, because
understand.
this would be extra sensitive to that, because you can actually adjust the sensitivity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
They're not.
the average mail carrier is 55 years old on average, I believe, like nationwide. How many of them know how to go into the scanner and adjust the sensitivity on the screen? Honestly,
They don't
Like,
know how to type
honestly.
on the scanner.
Zero.
like
Zero.
for people that have a 10-year plan
Sorry.
and have all these different business ideas they have, no one thought to think and look up what's the average age of a carrier and how computer savvy that person might be. So while we're making this device, we have to make it somewhat usable for that type of person who's the average person that does the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those dudes can barely use their phone. They be like Brandon.
Y'all gotta see Brandon look at that phone, y'all. Oh my God.
Y'all not gonna keep recharging.
It'll be the funniest thing you ever seen in your life. I swear you will laugh every time you see it. He gonna, keep watching our videos. He's gonna do it at least once. And I'm
Yeah.
I'll
telling you.
make sure to know that I'm not
Oh, come on,
gonna at all.
I'm just trying to figure
At
out.
all.
I'm trying to figure out how you got LASIK and still a stick. That's what to get rid of that. Like,
Yo, I got one. You know what? You know, man. All right. Man. Okay.
you would have Dr. Miami, who you go to?
Y'all went to the low budget, but
We went to the
He went to the brother and said, it might work, it might not.
no, I said, brother, give me the tip, the $5,000 discount. I need some.
He went to the family doctor.
Family Dollar doctor.
Well, I mean, this job is something else, bro. I'm like, you know, everything sounds good when they put it out and put it on paper, but it's like when you really get in this job, you know exactly what's going on. It's just smoke and mirrors, yo. Smoke and mirrors, yo.
Like I said, make sure you get with your union, especially an older carrier, because it's easier because you're in the station. So get with an OG carrier that looks like they know what they're talking about. Don't get with that OG carrier with clothes look crazy, old sneaks,
Yo.
barely come to work, shirt untucked, no, not that one. Get with the one that look like they know what they're talking about, that engages, mostly the OJI. The on-the-job trainer usually knows. So get with them, figure out the rules, figure out things you need to know, because management, they will use that against you, without a doubt.
Here's a quick help aid tip, right? If you really want to know if somebody's really like attentive and on point about their job, especially in the carrier position, look at their hands. If your shop steward's hands look mangled or just look dirty all the time, they're probably not doing any work. Because it takes a lot of detail to clean your hands. It takes a lot of time to actually clean your hands properly and keep your hand upkeep.
I never thought about that.
Somebody that doesn't keep their hand upkeep is not going to do all the little things you're supposed to do as a shop steward. They're not going to cross the T's and dot the I's. They just kind of smudge over everything, just keep it moving.
Like smudgy fingers.
Yeah, like they would do with their hands.
They just do the regular shit.
Yeah, so just look at a person's hands that's your shop steward and you'll see exactly if they're really on point. Because so many people neglect their hands. They're usually lazy mouth. But on that note, before we jump up out of here, as always, let the brothers say the last words. Going to the right.
All right, y'all. We holla at y'all. This is Aaron. Signing out.
It's Be More, baby. You know what it is.
Another thing, if a nigga don't clean his hands, he probably don't clean his feet either, so pay attention.
Yeah, that's true.
Pay attention. But yeah, this is Black. We give y'all information, give y'all our side of the story, our experiences, let y'all know, have fun with it. Tell us what y'all think, let us know, and we out of here.
Yeah, that's all we got, man. We about to jump up out of here. Peace and blessings to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Normally I would say what I normally say, but peace out here.
It's a new day.